Right now, start with Brian Kelly and LSU. First staff now complete. Cortez Hankton officially announced by LSU, I guess, about maybe like an hour and a half ago or so. It was made official with a tweet from the football page, and they sent out the press release and things of that nature. Like a lot of the hires Brian Kelly made, this was one of the worst kept secrets ever. I mean, it was just very obvious. Cortez Hankton was the target, and once Georgia's season wrapped up, the move would be made in short order. Georgia wins the national championship 1 week ago today. By Saturday, the move was pretty much wrapped up and ready to go. And like most of Brian Kelly's hires so far, seems like a pretty good one, man. Cortez Hankton, Louisiana native, really good recruiter, has coached some really, really solid receivers who have gone on to have nice careers in the NFL so far as well. Obviously, when you think of Georgia, you don't think of just a dynamic passing offense, but I think that shows you even more what he's been able to get out of some of those guys and where they've gone and the talent level that he's recruited, just the number of top 100 receivers he's brought in to that Georgia offense when, again, not necessarily what you think of is, pass heavy. They're going to go out there and throw it 40 times a game. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. But I tell you what is even potentially more to like is what you saw this year from receiver at Georgia when your guy, George Pickens, he's supposed to be the guy and he's out. And you see somebody like A.D. Mitchell, a true freshman, step up and develop over the course of the season under Cortez Hankton and ends up catching the game-winning touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown in the national championship game 1 week ago today against Alabama. So that should absolutely give you hope and give you a lot to be excited about with the group that he's inheriting here at LSU.
Yeah, like you said, this wasn't a really well-kept secret, and he had a little moment with George Pickens during the national title game that we referenced on this show where Pickens finally made a big play, and the first person that he celebrated with was Cortez Hankton. And some more Louisiana flavor on the on-field staff, Musso. Now 4 out of 10 guys have experience either being from Louisiana, coaching in the area, or recruiting in the area, whether you're talking about Joe Sloan, the new quarterback coach, Frank Wilson, the running back coach / assistant head coach, Cortez Hankton, now on staff as well. So you have a little bit of Louisiana flavor. I know some people were worried about the loss of Corey Raymond and Brian Kelly coming in kind of being an outsider, but a lot of people that are very intimate, very familiar with the area, and that's a good thing. This is a guy that's well respected, both as a coach and a recruiter. Recruited some really good classes at Georgia, although individually maybe some of those guys didn't pan out, but he chose to leave what I would imagine is a really comfortable situation at Georgia, Musso, and he's going to have a big opportunity at LSU with a really talented wide receiver room.
That is, of course, your official staff now. Offensive coordinator, tight ends, Mike Denbrock. Defensive coordinator, linebackers coach, Matt House. Special teams coordinator, recruiting coordinator, Brian Polian. Quarterbacks coach, Joe Sloan. Running backs coach, associate head coach, Frank Wilson. Wide receivers coach, Cortez Hankton. Offensive line, Brad Davis. Defensive line, Shamar Kane. Cornerback, Robert Steeples. And safeties coach, Kerry Cooks. That is Brian Kelly's first official staff as the head coach of LSU. And you mentioned one thing already, but it's very clear what he was going for. Number one, the Louisiana ties, 4 of them, great recruiters throughout, and a lot of familiarity from Brian Kelly with some of these guys and familiarity from those guys with what Brian Kelly wants to do. Of course, there's fanfare really when it comes to any hire ever. I mean, people were excited to bring Bo Pelini back to LSU. That didn't work out very well. There was fanfare around Durante Jones and around Jake Peetz last offseason. So, of course, there's plenty of fanfare here. You're not going to know how it officially plays out until they take the field and you see it in action September 4th against Florida State. But I think one thing's clear is Brian Kelly lived up to the billing in hiring coaches. He had a plan. He had a vision. He got the guys he believes are right for the job. They're all accomplished. They're all experienced. And it looks on paper like a really good first staff that gives him a chance to have some success here at LSU early.
And they've been active in the transfer portal as well. We'll talk about a couple of these names in a moment, but they've gone out there, at least tried to fill some of these spots that need filling. And LSU has potential to have a really good team off the bat. I know they're replacing a lot, but if these people are good coaches, some guys getting opportunities that wouldn't have before at a situation that could be very beneficial at LSU, they could possibly exceed expectations. We'll know more as we get closer, but so far I agree with what you said. Great job hiring and filling out this staff, and a great job attacking the transfer portal so far by Brian Kelly and company.